The drama of accurate translations and localization has reached a new critical melting point, where even Asmongold himself in the last day made a full response to the woke translator attacking me. And before I give any context to this, I'm just gonna say, very good video by Asmongold, very good video by Rev as well, and, I'm so glad to see someone like Asmongold covering this topic, because it brings more awareness to just what's been going on and kind of stinking up underneath the carpet for many, many years now that not a lot of people are aware of, because it was just not really well known. It was just in very niche communities people were talking about this and were aware of it, and it was never really kind of introduced to a widespread audience. And this is something that people have been upset with for a while, but it's good to see Asmongold covering this topic, because now, with more people being very well aware of this, most of the anime community now, and people outside of the anime community being aware of this, it is probably going to lead to change, because as I talked about in a previous video like a week ago, I talked about how you have Japanese fans, people in Japan, now talking about, the overall mistranslations, people messing up the translations into English and all that, and how it just completely misrepresents what actually is being said, let's say in a manga or an anime. And, now that they're finding out about it, this is definitely not going to probably end. This is going to probably get even more chaotic as time goes on, as more and more people around the world find out about this topic. But I want to take a few moments to talk about where this all began. This whole controversy, or drama, so to speak, began with AI. I want to point this out. 2 to 3 weeks ago, there was literally an article that came out that was talking about, voice actors, VAs, etc., being replaced by AI, like translators and all that. And this has been obviously a concern for a very long time. For years now, with the just overall evolution of AI with art and story writing, ChatGPT and all that type of stuff, there has been people aware that, AI is growing exponentially and they potentially could become replaced. And it's an interesting topic, and I'm not going to dive too deep into that because I don't know everything about all the technological advancement of AI. But the point is that there is a very huge conversation around AI and how it's going to replace people. And so obviously one of the big fundamental fears people have is that AI is going to replace them. So when they heard that this article was being written, and this article said voice actors or translators are going to be replaced by AI, there is fundamental fear right there. And when you think about just everything that, it started from to where it is at now, it makes a lot of sense now why maybe people are praising that these certain translators, etc., are going to be getting replaced by AI. When you just look at the reaction that some of these localizers have had to the entire situation that has been ongoing for years now, and is finally, they're kind of facing repercussions for these actions. So, anyways, with that being said, let's actually get into this video that Asmongold made, but also what Rev did as well, since Asmongold is reacting to it. It's a very good video, and I'm gonna, I left a like on the video. Go leave a like on Asmongold's video. This is a really good video, very informative, and leave a like as well on Rev's, video. I'll have the links to both of their videos in the description, so you can check them out for yourself. But with that being said, though, I want to take a few moments to say that I feel like what is said here really just kind of puts in perspective of what's been going on. So I'm just going to let this brief little moment play, and then I want to talk about it.
Making reaction videos to many different videos, including my own, where we were talking about localizers in anime and manga. What began as a conversation about AI potentially replacing localizers evolved into a very big spotlight on the decades of mistranslations that have plagued anime and manga
intentional mistranslations.
Yeah, see, what Asmon just said there is very true. Intentional mistranslations. Because later on this video, you actually get to see context that Rev gives that, one of the localizers that, is translating, let's say, anime, for instance, putting the subtitles, they purposely mistranslate it because they can. They can get away with it. And then they go out of their way to say, most of the staff or whatever, the people that are translating or localizing it can't actually speak or read Japanese. And it makes the whole, system look very foolish. And It's not good. I'm willing to bet you that people behind the scenes are probably really upset with, like, this individual talking about, just this whole topic and making them all look bad, because if this really is the case, and, like, most of them can't, like, read or speak Japanese or whatever, and their job is to basically translate, Japanese into English or different languages, that's not good. It's like, why do you have, like, people like that working at the job if they can't do the job right? It's like, that doesn't make any sense. And even when they say that they can basically get away with, changing translations because they have legitimately, quote unquote, the person in question in this video said they can do whatever they want pretty much because they have a vagina. It's like, yo, what? It's legitimately just a massive whiplash. It's like, wait, did she really just say it? Like, yeah, there's like a literal clip here where she goes and talks about this and all that, and then she responds to things and all that instead of trying to paint everything as accusations, or pretty much like Asmongold is sending people after her to attack her and all that, when that's not necessarily the case. Asmongold, if anyone watches his content, knows he's not going to do that. He doesn't do that type of stuff. He talks about the subject, he talks about the drama, and that's about it. He doesn't want to send hate or anything at them. He says it like it is. Asmongold is an individual, he keeps it real when he's talking about a subject, and I respect that. I know a lot of people don't like that, very straightforward, right hook to the face type of approach, how he is, like in terms of just being blunt with people, but I respect it. And the thing is that the whole conversation around this is that, like, she tries to paint the whole subject of like, oh, it's just accusations, when in reality, when she's making posts like this all over social media, and she's like just saying stuff like this, like, look, I actually can't translate any of it, I don't speak Japanese, it makes everything look bad. This is not a gotcha moment that she thinks it is. This just makes her look bad. It makes everyone in the industry look bad, and it makes a lot of sense now why, like, a lot of anime fans are turning against her, why a lot of people are legitimately just not really liking these translators working on some of their favorite anime. The spotlight has definitely grown a lot wider now in the past few days to weeks, and this is not something that she can run away from. This is not something that other people can run away from. It makes them all look really bad, and so this is not going to go away. This is going to keep getting worse until some form of change is going to be made. And it's clear, once again, it is working. More people are finding out about it. Japanese fans are finding out about it. Hell, I even showed brief moments here. Like, Rev says it best. I'm just going to let him say it here.
But my understanding...
The thing not well known that people are really interested in.
Yeah, see?
In fact, it has reached Japanese users, including YouTube videos like this. Now, as many people have pointed out, especially on the Japanese side of things, this issue with English localizations is not well known in Japan. So when
I don't think that people understand.
Like, Asmon's probably going to say the exact same thing I'm going to say here, but the thing is that it's true. Most of the people in Japan are completely unaware of these changes. They have no idea what's going on, and I'm willing to bet you these big companies that, are actually making this anime and been licensing this product to, let's say, Crunchyroll or any other, actual streaming service, are probably unaware that their actual translations are being changed. Like, the message of their show is being changed for, like, a political agenda, so to speak. And it's kind of crazy, honestly. And I wonder, once these companies really start to find out, they're probably going to crack down. They're like, yeah, we don't want this. We want the integrity of our series to remain intact. We don't want you changing it to have a message that you want to put in, and it just completely disregards on what the actual series is trying to say to its audience or readers. So it's just like, yeah, it's clear that this is now gaining more attention and traction in Japan. It's not necessarily something that you can kind of, brush aside. But, anyways, getting back to a big topic here, is that, like, the whole entire, like, response that, this individual did to Asmongold, she tried to basically paint it to where, like, Asmongold is attacking her because Asmon has 2 million followers, over 2 million, like, subscribers, and because of that, she being a smaller creator in the anime industry, it's like this big bad man is coming after her and ruining her life, when that's not necessarily the case. Literally, she spends most of the time talking on Twitter, responding to people and being extremely toxic, and then trying to basically say because she has an actual vagina, she's able to be like this or do this type of stuff. And I'm like, yo, that's just not... Like, there's so much to unpackage from that. I'm not going to go too deep into that one. But the point of the matter is that it is absolutely crazy. And this entire individual, I'm willing to bet you the company that, she works for is not liking what she's doing right now. I'm willing to bet you they're all, like, saying, be quiet, stop it, like, really stop it. You're making us all look bad right now, because once, Japanese studios find out about this, she is definitely going to probably be silenced, like probably removed from her job, so to speak. I don't wish people to be fired. I know it's a sad day, but if you do a bad job, you deserve to be fired. That's my 2 cents on the matter. But anyways, besides all of that though, I think if you want to hear my honest thoughts on the whole subject, I think that finally, you reap what you sow. Once you do a lot of bad jobs and then finally it comes out to the surface and people know about it, this is exactly what happens. And so I do think that legitimately, I'm glad to see this topic talked about more. It definitely needed to be. I'm glad Asmon's covering it. I'm glad Rev is covering it. I'm glad Hirohei is covering it. I'm glad to see more people in the industry talking about this because it is very important to keep the actual integrity of our favorite series intact and not completely, diminished or destroyed because, someone wants to flip it to a political message, so to speak, and it has nothing to do with the actual story. I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, do leave me a like. Once again, I'll leave the links to these videos in the description for you to check them out for yourself. And once again, thank you everyone that has continued to watch these videos, and thank you very much Asmongold, Rev, and Hirohei that continues to cover this subject matter because it's very important, and all the other content creators on the platform that continue to speak out about this. This is very important, and I'm glad to see more people wanting to keep, let's say, the integrity of anime and manga intact. But be safe, everyone. I love ya. Chibi out.